Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the City of North Augusta City Council meeting for March the 18th, 2024 to order. It's great to see everybody. Got a great crowd out there tonight. Thank you all for being here. We're going to jump right in to item 2, Invocation Pledge of Allegiance. You're welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, I ask that you be with this council as we begin our meeting. Give us guidance on your perspective and the right priorities as we do the work of the city. I ask that you give each of us discernment, open hearts and ears as we strive to honor you in our decision in order to make North Augusta a great place to live. Amen. If able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to start with our roll call from my left.
Eric Presnell.
David McGee.
Pat Carpenter.
Britton Williams.
Jennifer McCauley.
David Buck.
Kevin Toole.
Okay, item 4, approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions to the regular city council meeting minutes of March the 4th, 2024, or the study session minutes of March the 11th, 2024? Hearing none, they stand approved as distributed. Okay, I always love this part. We get to meet some folks. I'm going to ask Mr. Wanda Bateman from Tri Development Center to meet me down front. How are you? I know. Now, you know what? I told those young men, they got the bow tie on, they dressed up. So if you want to stand up and come stand up here, you're welcome to. Y'all want to come stand up here? They're watching y'all. I don't know, thousands of people watch this every Monday. We got these beautiful women. They don't want to come down here. They're going to just leave it up to the men. Oh, here they come. Okay, good. We love Tri Development Center. Great, great. Okay. These folks are here because this is Disabilities Awareness Month. Whereas many North Augusta families are impacted by severe lifelong disabilities, including autism, traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injuries, and intellectual and related disabilities. And whereas people with lifelong disabilities are productive citizens, deserving of respect and the opportunity for economic self-sufficiency, independence, and personal growth. And whereas it's important for all North Augusta citizens, those with and those without disabilities, work together, play together, worship together, learn together, and grow together. And whereas family members, caregivers, and service providers selflessly offer daily care, assistance, supervision, physical and emotional support to individuals with disabilities to help them enjoy full participation in community life. And whereas the 2024 observance of Disabilities Awareness Month celebrates 35 years of advocacy for and successes of people with disabilities in education, employment, and community activities. Now, therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, Mayor of the great city of North Augusta, do hereby proclaim March of 2024 as Disabilities Awareness Month. And encourage all citizens in North Augusta to work together, promote increased opportunities for people with disabilities, to recognize the many contributions made by people with disabilities in our communities, and honor the dedication of the caregivers who bring support and hope to their fellow citizens. And you've got some folks who are here to help you, don't you? Okay, y'all come up here. You want to come up here? Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand then. Okay. All right. Thank you for what you do. Antoine, I'm going to let you, if you would like to just say something, because we're just so thankful. Tri Development does for North Augusta.
Well, Mr. Mayor and Council, just on behalf of our Executive Director, Heather Waddell, the over 300 employees who make up our TDC team, and the amazing men and women we have the pleasure to support every day. Thank you for recognizing March as Disability Awareness Month.
Let's give them a round of applause. Miss Peggy Ford, she got a bunch of people with her. You coming up by yourself, young lady? You want to come up by yourself, or you anybody you want to bring up with you?
They can all come with me.
Okay. They don't. Do they want to? No, they are. They are. That's good. Now, if I don't say, y'all have gotten in your new building, or you're close? Okay. Big supporter of Children's Place. Love what y'all are doing. Fantastic. Okay. Come on up. Come on up. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Come on up. Okay. Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas South Carolina's 1.1 million children reside in the diverse communities across our state, including 36,539 in Aiken County, are our most valuable resource that will shape the future of our great state. And whereas childhood trauma, including neglect and abuse, is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone. And whereas childhood trauma can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional development, well-being of children and youth. Whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, mental and behavioral health, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that build strong children and strengthen families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community in partnership to build awareness about child abuse and neglect and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families, and whereas in fiscal year 2022 to 2023, there were 8,304 substantiated child protective services investigations with 14,711 children in South Carolina and 154 substantiated investigations with 258 children in Aiken County. Now, therefore, I, Britton S. Williams, Mayor of the great city of North Augusta, do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month throughout North Augusta. Encourage all South Carolinians to dedicate themselves to protecting the quality of life for all families and children so that we can end neglect and abuse. And Peggy, your organization, I'm going to let you tell a little bit about Children's Place, does exactly this in this process and help. So I'm going to let you let folks who's here with you and tell a little bit about it.
Okay.
If you would.
Well, first of all, Mayor, I want to say thank you to you and to council here for everything you do to work on behalf of the children and families in North Augusta, because it is about building families and it's about supporting them, and you do that in many ways. And so we appreciate everything that you do to support families. Here with me tonight, I have Martha Portney, Tom Portney. So they are actually our supervisors of our therapists and help grow the therapists that we have on our site. Janice Nix is the treasurer of our board. Dorothy Hughes has been at Children's Place and is the director of children's services and has been with me for almost 35 years. And Teresa Stevens is the program coordinator for our youngest group. And when we move into our new building, she's actually going to open our infant room. So we're real excited about that. So we work with children and families every day that are referred to us because they are struggling with adverse experiences. And we get to help the children and the families. And we are grateful to all the support that we get throughout the community. Thank you.
Let's give them a round of applause. Good to see you, sir. Thank you all. Okay, we're going to jump into item 6, old business. Ordinance number 2024-05, authorizing sale of surplus city property at 1711 Plank Road, parcel 006-15-06-017. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Okay, that's Mr. Buck. Thank you. Second? All right, Mr. Presnell, appreciate it. Anything you want to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor and Council, the staff is ready to publish the sale of this property through GovDeals. If the council votes affirmatively this evening, our intention is to have it fully advertised for approximately 4 weeks, or to close that out after Masters Week. and then move forward if applicable at that point in time.
Are there any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion? All right, here none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay. We're going now into new business. Item 7, Planning and Development, Resolution number 2024-11, to authorize the city to enter into an amended and restated master parking facilities operating and easement agreement and certain joinders. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Ms. McCauley, second. Ms. Carpenter, thank you. All right, Mr. Clifford, anything you'd like to share on this?
Mr. Mayor, Council, this constitutes the vast majority of your council packet this evening. It's a fairly long agreement, a master parking agreement, and this would update the master parking situation relative to, with the intention of supporting the South City investment and the plan that they presented to council in an open session about putting apartments at Parcel K, apartments and retail at Parcel C, and then retail and apartments at parcels G and H. And so that's the impetus for the change to the master parking agreement. This is a fairly lengthy document, but it does a couple things, hopefully strategically, as we move forward. And so a couple of the highlights is, one, it will provide a dedicated revenue stream for the city out of Parcel K apartments, because they would be parking in the hotel deck. And the agreement stipulates that we would receive a stipend per parking space. So we would have a guaranteed income stream because of that arrangement. I think it's a net positive going forward. Also provides a comprehensive parking plan for the village itself. And as Mr. Paradise next to me here has run the numbers and has briefed you all previously, based on the parking needs for non-event parking, this agreement leaves us with 824 additional spaces, in excess of what is required. And on event parking nights, it gets us there through just 19 additional spaces. What our staff plan is to move this document through the council as a request, and then we have some subsequent council actions coming associated with Riverside Village, and then we would like to be able to move forward on some potential actions for increased enforcement in the village itself. I think everybody sees, when you go down there today, there's people parking up on the sidewalks and people parking in the grass, and there's a number of things that we want to remedy, certainly before moving into execution of the new parking agreement. And so there'll be some future actions that will be brought to council in the summertime that would require your attention. I'll pause for any questions that you may have for either myself or Mr. Paradise or our city attorney, Kelly Zier.
One thing I was going to ask is, we talked about this already on Exhibit B, when it talks about required parking per the PD, that number, we've got, with the total there, is much higher than what is required just by the plan development, right? This part, the PD number on the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure. And people can look at this by column to see, for example, the Medac building, that now that's no longer owned by Greenstone, Augusta Oncology. That agreement carries over to them. So this does a good job of showing what changes and what does not, what's been added. So it's a good piece. So any questions from council at this point before I open it up for citizen comments? Okay. All right, this time I'm going to open up for citizen comments. Are there any citizens who would like to come down and talk about this particular? No, you're at the, unless. No, you're at the end. I'm not forgetting about you, sir. Don't worry. Okay. So if there's anybody in the audience that specifically wants to come in front of council concerning this resolution, this is your time to do it if you like. Okay. Any council discussion?
I was just going to add, I don't have any questions, but I do know this is a really lengthy document, as Mr. Clifford mentioned. And so for myself included, it took probably over 4 hours to go through it and make some cliff notes. So if there are citizens that have concerns or anything, feel free to reach out to us, because I know it's hard within 2 minutes of being in here. So if you do have some concerns, we'd like to hear from you. And I do want to just add, I do think it's just based off of what I've reviewed, I think it's appropriate for the development. I think it's a piece of the puzzle. And as Mr. Clifford mentioned, we have to do our part on implementing things such as enforcement, wayfinding signage, trolleys when we have those big events and things like that. So those are items that we're aware of when implementing this, and just making sure that we do our part for this new agreement we want to take that on as council.
Very good. I agree. And this moves us where we need to go going forward. This is the first piece of the puzzle. I like that. That's a good description. All right, if no other council discussion, okay, then I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Very good. Okay. Item 8. Finance, resolution number 2024-12, identifying North Augusta projects for the Aiken County Capital Project Sales Tax 5. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Bach, Mr. President, y'all did it at the same time. Thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor and Council, and for our citizens, this is a request for a formal action from the council to send to the county, Aiken County, for our requested list of projects for inclusion in the CPST 5 ballot initiative, which will be seen on this year's presidential ballot in November. And so this was the subject of a lot of discussion at our offsite in February. You had a study session that talked about the prioritization and the funding associated with that. And then this updated Exhibit A on the backside of your item is accurate to the point of down to the dollar. I think we left 13 cents off there, but our total from the county is $48,633,586, and you tally the right hand column there, that'll get you to that number. And based on the ability to move some funds around, and based on council and mayoral comments, we added some dollars to some of the projects. And so from the time that we had the study session to now, I'll just highlight a few of those. So we added an additional set of funds to park improvements. So on item number 3, just based on some of the costs that we see coming through parks for increased playground equipment and whatnot, that was probably going to need some additional attention. So we wanted to place some there. We put some additional money into the water infrastructure, prioritizing that over wastewater. Clean drinking waters of the utilities is certainly the most important. We added a few extra dollars to the water meter project, the automated reader, not a whole lot, but a few dollars. And then we also rounded up the Public Safety Training Center, which I think I briefed you out, $1.75 million up to $2 million. So those are the changes from what was briefed at the study session to what you have before you today. The mayor and I have also been in dialogue with my counterpart and County Chairman Gary Bunker about our submission, and I believe that this list will go up there and be well received by the county.
Thank you. Any citizen comments? Okay. Any council discussion?
Yeah, just one, simple. But I know we've got them like with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if something turned up, let's say Country Club, $3 million would be a drop in the bucket. Can you move the projects up? It doesn't have to go necessarily in this order.
No.
Okay.
Councilwoman, just for the education of our citizens at home, from the staff and for me as the administrator, I don't have the ability to move those funds around without a direct council action. So if at some point in time you decided to either reprioritize or the total rank order, or to reprioritize funding within those ranks, that is a council action if this passes as a voter referendum in November. So ultimately, this would be seen by all the voters and all of our citizens, because it would be a public action for you to make any changes to the document once it passes through a voter referendum in November.
that would have to come back to us and all of us agree. We want to move this project.
Just like we did with the streets. when we
Yeah.
did put off. Yeah. The only thing I want to say is this has become this is very positive for Aiken County. And I think for citizens need to understand, you may be in a community and at times you've had to raise a millage. Well, the thing about this is this 1 cent is for anybody that comes through North Augusta. So you think about people who are coming here for a peach jam, anybody that comes through and spends any money. So this penny is not being spent just by the 25,000 people. If you spend money in North Augusta, it's across the board. And you can take, I don't even have a list of the projects, but you can go back to the Palmetto Parkway, down to so many very positive things that the city has used this and the county has used it for roads, very, very positive. And this will be in the referendum in November. So if you have questions, reach out to council here. We'll be glad to talk to you about it. But this is a very, the projects here are going to make some serious improvement. It's going to be big for quality of life for our citizens as you look through this list. I think council and staff have done a really good job with it.
Mr. Mayor, just as a reminder for our citizens, this does not increase the sales tax as it exists. This would strictly continue the existing sales tax rate through the next referendum. So this will not change the overall effective tax rate for sales tax.
Very good. All right, no more council discussion. At this point, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? Okay. Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, item 9, Finance, Capital Project, Sales Tax 5, Sales Tax Commission appointment. It's not a resolution, but I shared this at the study session. Part of the requirement is there will be a committee that is represented by the municipalities in Aiken County. And the city being a larger one, we get a full representative. Some of the smaller communities will be appointed by county. By the county council. We're going to appoint, based on council voting, Austin Taylor. Austin's a local businessman, raising his family in North Augusta, just very successful in what he does, very smart, has great people skills, very good working with people, and will be a good, very strong advocate for us in this process. So do I have a motion to appoint Austin Taylor as the City of North Augusta's representative on the Capital Project Sales Tax Commission to consider proposals for funding capital projects with Aiken County from the proceeds of a continuation of the capital project sales and to formulate the referendum question that has appeared on the ballot?
So moved.
Ms. McCall, is there a second? Mr. Buck? Okay. All in favor? That's unanimous. Very good.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Austin Taylor has been a wonderful young man since a child. He's just grown into it.
That's good. All right, thank you. Okay, I'm jumping right along here. Okay, any administrative reports?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, now we've got 2 folks more. We've got still a number of things to do before we adjourn, but we're at item 11, which is presentation, communication, recognition of visitors. At this time, citizens may speak to Mayor and City Council regarding any matters not listed on the agenda. So don't worry, Stu, I'm not going to forget about you. But we got a young lady, April, from the Cumbie Center. How are you doing? Appreciate your waiting. We kind of had a little mix-up at our public power hour, which you've always been so positive about coming to promote. So come on down, and if you would, speak in the microphone for the record. Just state your name and who you're with, and then I'm going to feel free to give a couple minutes to share.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and
Yep.
council members. My name is April Jordan, and I'm with the Cumbie Center. We are a nonprofit organization that serves victims of domestic violence and sexual assault in 6 South Carolina counties: Aiken, Allendale, Barnwell, Edgefield, McCormick, and Saluda. And so we have tons of services that we provide at Cumbie Center, such as a 24/7 crisis hotline. We also have a shelter or safe house. We provide lots of services through our case management team at the Cumbie Center, to include financial support, to include legal and court advocacy. We also provide hospital advocacy and accompaniment 24/7. So we have tons of things available there, and also including counseling, and we have therapists on board as well. All of our services are free to our clients of domestic violence and sexual assault. And so the reason why I'm here today is Cumbie Center recognizes 2 awareness months per year. We'll actually do 3, but the 2 that we hang ribbons for. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So North Augusta is one of the counties that always supports, or cities that always supports us in lots of different endeavors, including hanging our awareness bows in your downtown area. So these bows, along with information cards, will be adorning the light poles on Georgia Avenue. And so we always submit a request, to ask permission from Mr. Mayor and council members, and we appreciate it so very much. But these will be hung on light poles with lots of information. The little information cards that were passed out before the meeting provide some of the information that will be on this information card. And so, like in October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the ribbons that we hang are purple, and they have a little bit different information on the cards. But during the month of April, we amp up our presentations, we amp up our staff trainings, we have conferences, a professional training conference every April and October. And so we also have a bake-off, which is coming up. It's one of our awareness events on April 20th at Odell Weeks, and so that's free and open to the public. It's a time for our community members and agencies to come together to serve all of the folks in our communities. So we're very much looking forward to it. But this is just one of the ways that we maintain our presence and sort of amp that up during our awareness month. Nice little teal bows.
We appreciate it. Thanks for what you do.
Thank
Good to see all those out there. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate your time. All right, Stuart, come on down, young man. If you'd state your name and address for the record and speak into the microphone so everybody can hear you.
Stuart Prettle, 101 Foxwood Drive, Aiken, South Carolina.
All yours.
Okay. I usually don't use a mic. Can you hear me?
Well, the problem is we're streaming this,
I know.
so yeah, you need to speak.
Yeah. I speak to like Sally, where there are like 2 or 3 people at the council meeting, so it's kind of unusual here. I'm Stuart Prettle. I'm running for Aiken County Sheriff. First of all, Mayor, I spoke to Pat on the phone. I was hoping to meet you before here.
Yeah,
But, I really do appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. I'm retired from Aiken County Sheriff's Office. I've been a police officer for 45 years, deputy police officer, narcotics agent. I've been investigated with the state. I'm running for Aiken County Sheriff. I'm almost 70 years old. People say you retire now. I'm sitting home and watching the crime in Aiken County. It's going up and up and up. And I just felt that I could not sit home any longer without doing something, without getting involved. I just give you a story real quick. I only take about a minute. I was in fact, the Cumbie Center. I dealt with the Cumbie Center. You had the disability here and the abused children. I've dealt with them also. And I also wanted a program within the sheriff's office to partner with the Cumbie Center and organizations like that. When I started out, I was in foster homes. I was in the system. I would bounce back and forth. The woman who would eventually adopt me was a sergeant in the Marine Corps in World War II and a ballet dancer, believe it or not. We went shopping one time. Her mom was with me, and she was would be my grandmother. And we went shopping, and we were going to eat. And we were going past a Woolworths. We were going to eat at the Woolworths some years ago. And there was a police officer standing there. And I walked up to him, and I was at gun level. He had the bullets around his belt like the Old West did. And I was right at his gun level. I was just a little shorter than I am now. And this officer talked to me. I can't tell you what he said. I can't tell you for how long, but he talked to me. And he changed the life of a child that had been through the system. The man had no idea whatsoever what he had done. But from that moment on, I swore up and down I was going to be a police officer and help people, and that's exactly what I've done for 45 years, and that's why I'm running for Aiken County Sheriff, because I believe I can make a big difference.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it, sir.
much.
Thank you for your willingness to serve. Brother. Thanks. Okay. I've got a couple things to comment about upcoming events and a few things for the public. So, anybody else have anything before I get on my thing? All right, just want to let everybody know this Wednesday at noon will be a ribbon cutting for citizens. This is great. We talk a lot about collaboration. Hammond Hill Suburban Pool, along with North Augusta Forward. Hammond Hill Suburban Pool donated some land. North Augusta Forward built a bathroom, and the city, we attached that to the sidewalk to the greenway. So we will now have another nice bathroom for our citizens on the greenway. That's Cypress, basically where Greenway and Cypress is. So we're having a ribbon cutting. We aren't, but there's a ribbon cutting we'll be participating in this Wednesday at noon. So I want to let folks know if you love about the Greenway and the bathroom, you want to be there. I want to just talk about our public safety. A lot of things. This past Thursday, we were able to go to the pinning ceremony. And again, as I told the officers and their families, it's a really exciting time in public safety. And not because in the next year we'll be in a new public safety headquarters, but it's because of the opportunities that we're seeing officers be able to have in promotion and development. So these are the folks who took on promoted the new titles. Luke Sherman, Captain. Kevin Hayes, Captain. Brandon Rowland, Lieutenant. Christopher Lynn, Lieutenant. Kyle Golden, Sergeant. Cody Walton, Sergeant. Jason Fox, Sergeant. Melanie Chavis, Sergeant. Andy Hogg, Corporal. Joe Waldrop, Corporal. Ben Hoffair, Corporal. And George Geimer, Sergeant. So just, Chief, you got a great bunch of folks in your leadership, and we're just proud of what you're doing. And just to kind of tell you, our public safety, they're in the community. This was posted where basically this is last week. North Augusta public safety officers and the firefighters participated in a Touch a Truck event at Mossy Creek. Firefighter Winger talked to the students about fire safety. Animal Control Officer McBride discussed the responsibility of owning a pet. So our folks are out there, and this other one is Lieutenant Billy Holtman. He sponsors or shares a class at First Baptist, Pat, your church. And he brought in Officer McBride and one of our new K9, Blaze, our newest K9 dog, to teach the kids about what Blaze is trained to do. So our public safety folks are out there in the community, do just an incredible job protecting us, and just very thankful to be in North Augusta with our public safety. So I just want to give a shout out for them. And then I'm very excited for this council because this came out in December. I'm on the first billing cycle. I should know how many billing cycles we have, but I just got my water bill last week, Linda. But we have our first ever hometown highlights. So hometown highlights. This council, these folks right here and these folks right here for the last 3 years have been promoting the prioritization of communication. And I'm not going to spend time on all those things. They're listed in here. But this is the first time we've had a hometown highlights. I love the name. Jamie and Michaela came up with that. I think it's great. But in this, every quarter there'll be an article, but we have a whole piece. If you want to know what's happening with North Augusta Parks and Rec, it's listed here. If you want to know about when the Music in the Park series, when that starts, it's listed here. If you want to know about the Arts and Heritage Center, the Chamber. So, and on the back, there's a great piece about the resource. So our goal is we're doing this every quarter. And to let you know something, the last time this was done was March of 2012. It's been 12 years. So we promote social media, we do all of that, but what everyone on this council knows, there's a ton of citizens that may be on social media, but they like to have paper. So now, every quarter in your water bill, you're going to get the hometown highlights to be able to read about what's happening in North Augusta. I think it's a huge win for our citizens. And I'm very thankful for council willingness as well as staff putting money in the budget for this. So just want to let you know, this month you'll be getting your water bill, read hometown highlights. It's been 12 years coming. And then with that, we've got one piece of business. We're now item 12, legal executive session, request of the city attorney. In compliance with Section 30-4-7 of the City Attorney, requesting executive session for the purpose of discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements, proposed sale or purchase of property, the receipt of legal advice, whether the legal advice relates to a pending, threatened, or potential claim, or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, settlement of legal claims, or the position of the public agency, and other adversary situations involving the assertion against the agency of a claim. Discussion specifically related to an amendment to the Master Development Agreement for Riverside Village and related economic development inducement agreement. Upon return to open session, council will not take any matters after executive session. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Ms. McCall, is there a second? Mr. McGee, thank you. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. We stand adjourned.